has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Hey, it's me, Gary Butterfield of Duckfeed.tv. I am making another attempt at doing a Let's Play. It has been years since I've done one. Here's why that is. I don't like it that much. I used to like it more. It's very time consuming. I don't like having my face on the screen. I don't like the schedule part of it. So when I was doing streams, I don't really like that. It's the reason why Cole ends up doing most of our Jackbox things. I appreciate that he does that. It's not because I don't have fun doing them. I just get nervous about them. It's not my favorite thing. However, I have not been able... This is the third game of Darkest Dungeon I've started in as many months. I have not really been able to stop playing this game. I love this game. I think it lends itself really well to a Let's Play format. So I want to do a Let's Play of it. I did a quick interest check on Twitter. People seemed into it. So I'm going to do this for a little while. Maybe I will run out of steam. Who knows? I don't know what upload schedule I will be on. I'm going to do 1 week per episode. I'm going to talk about my general thoughts on different classes and such. I'm by no means an expert. I've beat Darkest Dungeon on Radiant mode, and I am right at the end in a regular mode run. I'm not doing any mods. I am going to be doing the DLCs, but if you can add them later, I'm going to wait to add the DLCs until I get a little bit of ahead of steam, because otherwise it seems very difficult to me. So that's really the remit for the thing. Oh, I hate editing video. I know this is tons of caveats. I don't like editing video. I find it really boring and tedious. So I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to get the balance of everything as good as I can on this as far as the volume and everything, but I'm not going to go through and tweak it. I'm not going to do an intro or anything like that. I don't like that stuff. So I'm going to try to make this sustainable. What is the way that I like doing this? And that is the most likely situation in which I'll keep doing it. So today we're just doing the intro. I wanted to play that intro because I love the writing and flavor in Darkest Dungeon. It's one of my faves. And this is my PC version. Darkest for realsies. You can say I started this... well, it wasn't the 16th of this year that I started this. I don't think. I think this is incorrect because I've not played on my PC in quite a while. I've been playing on my Switch. But we're going to go ahead and start a new hamlet here and just do the old road. Short episode. It won't be a full week or anything before the first real mission. But there'll probably be sometimes it'll just be a week between episodes. Again, I'm just going to kind of feel this out. And it's honestly about what I have the capacity to do in all senses of that. So in the sense of workflow, in the sense of kind of emotional energy and mental health and all that jazz. Yeah. I've also haven't played on PC in forever, so I don't remember all of the shortcuts and tricks and stuff, so I might mess up. And we'll just go ahead and get into it. If you end up having feedback, if my levels are wrong, I'm going to look at this video afterwards. If the game needs to be a little bit louder or the game needs to be a little bit quieter or what have you, I'll mess with it. So I'll basically figure it out, I feel like. So yeah, let's begin. Let's click the letter to begin. So we're gonna do. I'm scared as hell to a Stygian. Stygian is really tricky. You have a time limit. Radiant is actually pretty good. I think that if you're gonna play this game, Radiant is a really great mode to play it. The biggest thing that it does is that things go faster in the game, and you can bring higher level heroes into lower level dungeons more often. It kind of affects the metagame quite a bit. So I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing the same one that I am almost at the end at on my Switch playthrough. The darkest setting here, which has corpses. It has a lot of things. It can be a pain. I expect some people to die. I have come to peace with that. But look at that cracked skull. Let's do darkest. So, and we're going to name it not darkest because that's boring. Let's name it Duckfeed Memorial Dungeon. This is where we will all go. And I'm going to be naming characters after fun Duckfeed stuff and people and everything like that. And if people start watching and you comment on the YouTubes and stuff, maybe I'll name a character after you. That sounds fun to me. And let's go. I'm going to shut up during cutscenes and actually turn them up a little bit because I think they're cool.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
So that is another soft goal I have for this playthrough. If you bring your first two characters, Dismas and Reynard, if they end up being the last two characters in the game, you get an achievement. I don't like achievements, but it's called We Found Redemption on the Old Road. And I love the idea of taking these early game characters all the way through the end, like a really epic kind of long thing. I don't know if I'll be able to keep them alive. So let's see what we have here. So I'm just learning, right-clicking, find your people. Your Reynard is always a kleptomaniac. Initially, Warrior of Light is really good as a quirk, so plus 10% damage when the torch is over 75. This is actually a really nice skill loadout, I think, for an early Crusader. And we're going to name Reynard Gary, because we're doing it as this Duckfeed thing. So, Zealous Speech, I really like if I have Zealous Vigil as an unlock thing to prevent the ambush. Let me see if my Dismas has it. Oh, Quick Reflexes is really good as well. These are good quirks. Known Cheat is no big deal. He always has that. I don't actually know if their quirks are hard-coded or if it's just their flaws. This is not a good loadout for him. Tracking Shot is really useful, or useless rather, in the game, and Grape Shot Blast is not great. I'll kind of talk about these classes as I run into them in the game, which means I'll talk about the Highwayman and the Crusader today. And again, I am not an expert. This is just going to be my, my understanding of how these things work. If the screen just changed and got better just now, I just noticed there was a weird little bit on my recording, so apologies for that. And this Dismas here is going to be Gary, or going to be Cole, rather. So we got Gary and Cole as our first two characters. And as I kind of move through, we will talk about these classes. All right, so this is just going to be our combat thing. The way speed works in Darkest Dungeon, your character has a speed stat at the beginning of every round, which is up here. The game rolls a 1d8 and then adds your speed. So Renaud only has a speed of 1. He's likely to go last. This guy here has a speed of 3, so it's a little bit below average. So you can see kind of on, it's possible for Renaud to go before him, but it's unlikely. So we're going to go ahead and open Vein. This causes bleed. Damage over time is extremely powerful in Darkest Dungeon. Good dodge. And I could stun him. I'm just going to kill him, though. So these classes, the Highwayman, really love. Wonderful little DPS class. How do I investigate this on the computer? Do I just click on it? Yes. So wonderful DPS class. Really, really versatile. I love bleed. I love being able to do damage over time. Huge crit modifier. I find the Highwayman useful throughout the game. Crusader is really versatile. He is... I guess I said the Highwayman is versatile. They're mostly good at dealing damage. They're just good at dealing a couple different types of damage. Crusader, though, is very versatile. He can heal. He can stress heal. He can add torchlight. There's a couple different things he can do. I generally don't like Crusaders that much, though, so I'm not going to be seeking them very much in the Stagecoach. In terms of general strategy, and this can be baby strategy, because, again, I think other people have played this and know more about it than I do, but these big characters like this, he does not have protection. He does not have armor. You can see his stats down there. But on big characters, I always like to get a damage over time going as soon as possible. So I'm going to use Open Vein here. You can see its stats down here. If you're unfamiliar with this game, if you're just watching the Let's Play because of the podcast, or if you've never been able to get into the game, I'll explain things as it goes, and you'll definitely pick up little bits. But I think giving him... The other thing I can do... So Cole here can also hit this Brigand in the back. Actually, I think I'm going to do that on round 1, and then I'm going to try to stun this guy. So, good shot. Punishment's going to be... Oh, good dodges, everybody. So let's see what Gary, the Crusader, does. I'm going to try to stun. Got 50% chance. Resisted it. That's a bummer, but I still did a little bit of damage. Again, I go first here. I could do a grape shot and hit both of them, but it's not very good. Excellent hit. This leaves a corpse. So corpses get in the way, basically. There are a couple situations which they can do other things to you that are unfortunate. But for the most part, they just get in the way. Here, this is no big deal, but it can be a problem because your skills can only hit certain ranks. So, for example, Gary here can only hit the first 2 ranks with his attack skills. This guy's in the first 2 ranks. If the corpse was here and this guy was in the back, I could not hit him. We're going to have to go for the stun again. And to show you what this is, you can see here the stun base is 100%. It does 50% of my damage. My damage is over here. I do 3 to 6 on average. And this guy has a 50% stun resistance. So it's only a coin flip, but turn denial is huge in this game. Stuns are incredibly important. He has been stunned. He lost a whole turn, giving Cole a chance here to act. And I'm going to open up that damage over time on him. Landed the bleed, which is great. You can see here 2 damage per round for 3 rounds, so it adds 6 damage. He just got a little buff. You can see stun resist. The round after someone is stunned, they always get a resistance. So I'm just going for DPS. There. He's going to get in some damage, but it's not going to be a big deal, honestly. That's one of the worst things you can do because it gives some stress. we're going to go into the next round with stress. But when we go back to the Hamlet, we're going to end up with all of our health back. So you can stack damage over time. It's one of the things I did not really realize the first time I played this. So now he had 2 stacks of bleed, took 4 damage. Definitely want all this stuff. I've completed the quest, so I can go back to the Hamlet whenever I want. I can continue adventuring, which ordinarily you'd want to do because there's this treasure chest here. The bandit's trap chest. I don't have a way to get around that. This is just going to show me, like, I'm going to get diseased or whatever. Or get blight. So I did know better. This doesn't actually matter, but it's just a fun little, like, it's a way that the developers are teaching you a little bit about the game. We'll go ahead and do our first short quest as well during this video. So here's my payday. And we get, these are heirlooms. This is how you do the metagame and improve your Hamlet. So I got something here. Nervous is frustrating. Eldritch Hater is actually really good. With this and the quick reflexes, Cole is turning out to be a very good early highwayman. Whereas Gary is not doing so great. Here's the big list of things you can do. I didn't actually see how to include the DLC in this, so I'm going to have to... oh, it's the... Well, can I change that? Okay, the Duckfeed Memorial Dungeon Estate. Cool. So I need to figure out how to add the DLC for when I want to do it later. I bought it, I believe, but I might not have bought it yet, so we'll see. Can't do anything with this stuff yet. All we can do is get our Plague Doctor and our Vestal. These are always the first 4 classes you get in the game. And can I don't think I can... Oh, I can improve my stagecoach. So let's actually do a couple of improvements. This is the main place you're going to want to put your heirlooms in at first, because your roster and throwing away suicide squads and stuff is basically, I feel like, essential in the early game. This is the standard Darkest Dungeon lineup. This is always what you're going to start out with. Let's see what we got on these guys. Winded is pretty bad. Winded is okay. That's not great. This is a good loadout. This is actually my preferred Plague Doctor loadout. The 4 skills you have unlocked initially are a little bit of luck when you first get a character. And these are the skills I train up on a Plague Doctor, which is great. And we will name our Plague Doctor Jeremy Greer. Jermiger, the Plague Doctor here. Let's see what I got. My Vestal. Eagle Eye is really good. Curious is really bad. This is my loadout for Vestals. This is awesome. The fact that these characters came with their default loadouts for me. I didn't get the thing that prevents the ambush, this skill, Sanctuary, but this is excellent. Eagle Eye is very good. Anything that adds crit to range skills, and I only use her range skills. I very rarely use Mace Bash. It's really excellent. And the Vestal we will name... I think I'm going to just keep these, name these after my friends and stuff, and not worry so much about the gender of the characters. The Plague Doctor is a girl as well, but I named her Jeremy Greer, and this Vestal will be named Will Hughes. And since I did last names on these guys, let's add these. Gary Butterfield, the Crusader. Oh, right click. Cole Ross, the Highwayman. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do the first mission. These first few missions until you get everything unlocked are basically a tutorial. There's not a whole lot you can do. So this is our mission select screen. I'll talk about this more as more options come up. I could theoretically just throw all these people away in the Darkest Dungeon, which would be shitty. Debuff Stone is pretty shitty. I don't really want this trinket. This is essentially money. I'm not going to use this. Getting Crust is fine. Short is good. Explore 90% of rooms is easy. This is the layout I like for this team. We're going to get a little name, the usual suspects. But I like a fourth position Vestal, third position Plague Doctor. I don't get to use all the skills, but there are arguments for a second position Vestal. I've tried it. There's a really powerful trinket that does it. It's okay. So, but for now, we're just going to provision up. So this is good. This advice. I'm going to take more torches than that. Well, maybe, yeah, I'm going to take a couple more torches than that. I take, I always go highlight. That makes me a wuss. 100%. I do not do low light runs generally unless I'm throwing away a squad. It's just too much stress. Not on me, but on the characters, I mean. And yeah. So I do highlight. I tend to actually provision really conservatively. If you really want to advance the game quickly, you want to be a lot more risky than I am. I'm going into the ruins. So where you go kind of depends on what you'll need here. I think you only need one shovel for this tutorial mission. I can't remember though, so I'm going to take 2 because the cost of not having them really sucks. Take a couple bandages because I can use those, and a couple curios. I don't remember what all the curios do. A couple holy waters, a couple keys. That's all my stuff. It was expensive, but that's okay because I play this game pretty conservatively and I throw away shitty squads, so I end up with a lot of money. And I do not feel bad about that. There's definitely a point when I play this game where I get to a point where I just have 4 open slots and I just send 4 guys at them and just try to get them out, and then I dismiss them. They're just there to give me money. The game has gotten a lot better about that because they've introduced a class called the Antiquarian, which we'll talk about when we run into them. And then how do you light torches in this? Click, yeah. To give you money. Some skills. If you remember, so Cole Ross here, the highwayman, skeletons cannot bleed. So you got 200% bleed resistance down there. So that is noteworthy. You want to bring blight heroes into the ruins. And yeah, blight heroes like Jeremy Greer, the Plague Doctor. Plague Doctors are one of my favorite classes in the game. It's the most powerful damage over time class. Yeah, and they're very versatile. Being able to stun both the back 2 ranks at once and any of the back 3 with a shuffle and a corpse clear, and then being able to give plague to anyone there, and a powerful plague. The first one he starts off with, this Noxious Blast, is 5 points for 3 rounds, so 15 damage, which is pretty incredible. So Plague Doctors are amazing. I love them. I try to use them whenever possible. The bad thing is they're basically useless in the Warrens and the Weald, where they're very plague-resistant enemies. Vestals, we'll use the Vestal here. This is obviously your healer class. This is mandatory. Like I end up taking tons of Vestals. There's another healing class. There's a couple other ones. There's one other primary healing class. They're not... I like it as a class, but I don't like it as a healer class. So they give us a shovel. That's what I should have known. That they weren't going to trick us with the shovel thing this early on. This is scouting. Scouting is hugely important. We'll talk about that more once we get some trinkets for it. You may notice that these 2 characters have stress. They started with stress. Your first mission out, you start with 20 stress. So I want that up for additional dodge and scouting afterwards. So here's a stress caster, this cultist acolyte. These tend to be my priority because it's a lot easier to heal health than stress. There's a couple of very powerful stress healing characters in the game, but really there's one that does the job. So she's got to go. So I'm going to focus fire on her. Luckily I got the hit. You're going to be able to see, so I can't Noxious Blast, but I can play Grenade. It does 4 damage per. She's got 7 hit points left. So I think I want to disorient her and bring her forward to kill. So this has a 75% chance of working. Yeah. Pretty good. Excellent. She's right up here. That was when she would have went. She's not going to be able to get any stress off on me. So pretty sure I'm going to be able to kill her. And I'm actually going to make sure. Go Will Hughes. That's Will Hughes' classic catchphrase. Burn in holy flame. We're getting all these dodges because we're in Apprentice Dungeon and we're in highlight. So this is, I have the zealous accusation. I can do this to both of them and hurt them both. It's not actually a bad idea. Let's go ahead and just do it for funzos. Then I might be able to finish them both off with Grape Shot. Yeah. So it's going to seem like this is not a hard game at first, because it's not. Apprentice level dungeons are fairly easy. I'm going to do all the stuff in this dungeon because I want the money. So we're going to go hit all these things. We can do it, no problem. One thing you'll note, so Gary Butterfield here is a kleptomaniac. Will Hughes is curious. That gives them a chance of when we come upon these kind of hallway trash, those are called curios, for them just to interact with them outside my control. And it's always a bummer when it happens. I try to get rid of those negative quirks. So same basic thing here. I'm going to try to get rid of the stress caster as soon as possible. I'm gonna bleed. Nope. Resisted the bleed. That's good. This can get the kill. Yes. So all well and good. Let's on this big guy. Let's start some plague. Damage over times tick before the enemy takes their action. So even though it seems like he has, his regular amount of health, 14 health left, it's going to be 5 before he can do anything. Here's a chip you can do. This guy only takes 1 hit point. So if I can just hit him, but I may as well do a grape shot because it's going to kill him and damage this guy. It's worth doing AoEs a lot of the time in those situations. Again, we can stack this. This will kill him if it lands. This he'll die here. And let's go ahead and do Bulwark for a little bit of Torchlight for free. So these chests, you always want to have keys for these bad boys. You can sometimes get the stuff in them without a key. Stun Charm is not anything particularly great. It's fine. So let's actually go this way. That trap I'm not too scared of, but will require a little bit less backtracking. When you're going back, your torch doesn't go down as fast when you're going through areas you've already explored. So our torch will still probably last us in here until here. It's good because I like high torchlight. I also like trinkets. Trinkets. So he's going to steal my stuff. Here. He took that for himself. Which is fine. I didn't really want it, but it still kind of sucks. There are high light trinkets that only work when the torchlight is high, and I tend to favor those. All right. This guy probably has the most DPS, and he can hit my backline. So I'm going to focus fire on the Bone Arbalist here. See if I get the stun. Good. Plague Grenade will kill this guy before he can act if I land the blight. Okay. He's dead. That was a stun. Next turn he'll die. And then for these guys, let's just try to kill one. No, let's do the stun. Nope, no stun. So taking 2 hits. Ugh. Damn it, Greer. So we're hurting a little bit here, actually. I don't think that's going to be enough. That is enough to kill him for sure. So that's excellent. Okay. Some good money. So I think the way this curio interacts, I think I do this. Yes. Big heal. That's great. All right. Got a trap coming up here. Traps are only really a pain if you don't see them, but they are then. If you do see them, they're basically free stress relief. So I've started to really appreciate having traps. In there, that was a weird, like, level 2 Darkest Dungeon insight. Since there are no enemies, fuck you. Gary Butterfield, the Kleptomaniac, no. I wanted those. That would have been good. I'm going to, as soon as I get a 5th member, I'm going to cure him of kleptomania because it drives me nuts, even though it's expensive. So, since there were no enemies in that hallway, it was fine getting the torch run down. And I put it up to radiant light before I went to the room because the way that scouting checks work is it's when you first enter the room, it makes a scouting check. So this is my reward basically for bringing a shovel, is I get to have this treasure chest in here. And early on, ooh, that's all the light I have. So it's running a little close with the torches there, but this should be fine. This guy sucks. Bone Courtiers. They go really fast and they do a lot of stress damage. That sucks because she's going to want to go with me on my next run. So let's... Oh, fuck. Okay, I was trying to stun the back line. Like, this is a tough fight. So let's see what happens here. Lordy. So he's probably going to get a second stress. He's definitely going to get a second stress off on me. That's a bummer. Like, I will live through this, but it's annoying. Ooh, well. 73% chance to hit, 78% chance to hit with a 90% stun. Go ahead and actually just take this risk. There we go. Okay, good. So now it's fine. If that guy had stayed alive and her stress had gotten pretty high up there, that would have been potentially a pretty annoying problem. This guy's taken care of now. I could heal him, but I don't think he needs it. This guy has protection. He's annoying. He has 25% damage resistance, but he doesn't have that much hit points because we're in a apprentice level dungeon. So. Fuck, these misses. These dodges. So this guy is dead. There's no more dungeon though, so there's no reason to stall it out and try to improve myself. Good haul though. Those busts are rare. So yeah. Taking it all. This is a good haul for the first level. I don't know how to speed this up on this version on the Switch. It's just you click R3 because that game has one of the weirdest control schemes, or this game has one of the weirdest control schemes on Switch. Is it just next? No, that doesn't speed it up. All right. Clutch hitter's really good. No, actually, it's fine. Night Owl is bad. I'm never going to use that. Natural Eye is very good for him. Cove Adventurer is fine. So Will Hughes underperforming as usual. And I think the reason why I got that message is because, okay, so God-fearing is okay. I do not want Kleptomaniac to get locked in. But I got some extra people. For the next time, so Gary Butterfield is going to go to the sanitarium. Oh, he's not. Well, he's not going to go on a quest, though, because I don't want Kleptomaniac to get locked in. So we'll take another next session. We're probably going to take this occultist and this grave robber and do this kind of... I think we'll leave Will Hughes at home and take these guys. And that's kind of a squishy squad, but I think it'll be all right. Anywho, thank you for watching. I'm going to record a batch of these, likely. You know me. That means that I won't get your feedback right away, but I will get your feedback eventually. Leave it as a comment or hit me up on Twitter. Let me know if you like this. Let me know if the balance is all wrong. Let me know things like that. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this. I don't know why Will's doing that. There we go. If I take the mouse cursor off to stop OBS, like many of these people groove. Ding 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 da ding ding da ding da ding 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 da ding. Ding 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 da ding ding da ding da ding 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 da ding. Jeremy Greer to Jeremy Greer. Wild and concerned, I've seen nothing horrific, but Will Hughes has. Anywho, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.